Hello internet and welcome back to the nerdiest channel on YouTube, Top 10 Nerd, the place where we love ourselves some symbiotes just as much as the next guy. As per usual, I'll be your host Jack Finch as we rewrite 20 years of Klyntar origination, hope to high heaven that the light can save us all, and shudder at the vile visage of the living abyss himself, and take a look at the top 10 Knull the god of symbiote shocking facts. Roll the clip. Oh man, for me, Marvel just keeps getting better and better, and their recent rewrite of the symbiote mythos is no exception. It's just so damn good. In Marvel's newest run of Venom, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman rewrite everything we've ever known or thought we knew about the Klyntar symbiotes. A hell of a lot of new and awesome stuff is going down in Venom right now. There's giant symbiote dragons, all-powerful necrotic weaponry, and an Eddie Brock showdown that tugs at those heartstrings. Before we jump into all that though, you know the drill by now. If you're a fan of this video, Venom, the symbiotes, or just top 10 nerd in general, then be a dear and hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. On with the show. Kicking off at number 10, he's like a billion years old. At least 13.7 billion years old to be precise. Knull is an ancient malevolent deity whose existence predates the universe itself. He possesses immortality, existing before the genesis of concepts such as life and death themselves. And as it comes with the territory, his weird little symbiotic eyes have seen a lot of as he floated wistfully through the endless cosmic abyss. Created by Jason Aaron, Butch Guice, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, Knull serves as an intellectual foil as to the origin of the symbiotes that we've all grown to love over the years, giving them a depth and narrative niche that is more than just weird, amorphous, alien life form. First seen in 2013 in Thor's God of Thunder number 6, Knull the god of symbiotes is an anciently relentless figure, tightening the screws on everything we knew about Venom, Carnage and their ilk. Coming in at number 9, he's the living abyss. Yeah, it comes with the territory too really. When you're an ancient being of malevolent eldritch energy, you could say that there's a few all-powerful perks. Knull has many names: God of the Forge, God of the Symbiotes, Lord of the Abyss, the First God of the Abyss. He's got many facets and many symbiotic faces, one of which is a symbiote dragon, but we'll get into that later. As a primordial god of darkness, Knull possesses the superior ability to create, control and manipulate an entire energy force of eldritch darkness, which is a manifestation of the primordial void that existed before the universe itself. In essence, Knull is capable of manifesting his dark shadow to create symbiote life from this living abyss, which he first demonstrated when stranded on a desolate world and discovered that he can infest lesser creatures with his abyssal energy, creating the first army of symbiotes to conquer the universe. Also, he's one of the few creatures that seems to be capable of surviving completely unaided in the vast vacuum of space, which is pretty dope. Or scary, depending whose side you're on. Next up at number 8, he hates the Celestials. This is really the crux of Knull's origination and his eon-long war with the Celestials as they created the universe. As an ancient eldritch being, Knull utterly despises the Celestials and their creations and is pretty hellbent on ushering in an all-out genocide against them. Knull's ultimate weakness though is as a product of his own surmise, and thus is vulnerable to a metaphysical force he refers to as the light. A life force that was spread through the abyss by the Celestials, manifesting itself through concepts such as honor, benevolence and nobility. Also, after chopping off the head of a celestial god in his initial crusade, that severed head would later become Nowhere, a ramshackle galactic city that you may know, and scientific station at the edge of space. And as we're talking about chopping off heads, coming in at number 7, all-balck, the NECROSWORD. Yes, the most heavy metal object in the whole of the Marvel universe. All-balck, the NECROSWORD, while also being a pretty awesome death metal band name, is the living creation of Knull's first ever umbra-kinetic symbiote. The all-balck, a being created by the very shadow essence of Knull himself. Also known as the God Slayer, which was tempered by the divine power of a slain celestial, this was the symbiotic weapon wielded by Knull during his chaotic campaign against the divine beings of the universe. It was so powerful that Knull could decimate entire armies of Celestials single-handedly. According to Old Galactus, all-balck the NECROSWORD is the same weapon that carved the first dawn from the stone of the endless night. It has the eldritch power to control and manipulate darkness from the living abyss, and even be used to create sentient shadowy beasts known as the Black Berserkers. It has a long, nightmarish history of corrupting its many users into committing divine atrocities, but seemingly was subservient to its creator Knull. I say was as we lead on to our next point, because during a particular scuffle with an army of golden celestials, all-balck the NECROSWORD was stolen by a certain someone. Which leads us to our number 6 point, GORR the God Butcher. The second person on the list of god-hating beings in the Marvel Universe is an alien from an unnamed planet who would go on to be the second wielder of all-balck the NECROSWORD, GORR the God Butcher. Created by Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic, GORR first appeared in God of Thunder #2 as the son of a nameless father and an outcast from a forgotten world. He was taught his entire life to trust in the divinity of the gods, but to his rage, they never answered his prayers. That is until Knull landed on his planet and GORR witnessed him battling the golden armored gods. To his surprise, the gods actually did exist, but it did nothing to sate his rage, and after stealing the NECROSWORD from an unconscious Knull, he went on a 1,000-year campaign butchering any god that crossed his path. It wasn't until Thor, well, 3 Thors in fact, took on the power-crazed god-butchering alien, and with the help of the all-balck itself, they finally killed him. Also, as a small aside, GORR's unnamed homeworld in God of Thunder #6 is the same planet seen in Venom's flashback in Dark Origin #4. Interesting, eh? Coming in at number 5, he's got a pet dragon called Grendel. Kind of. And no, it's not sprightly and cute, it's a horrific, twisted symbiote mess. In actual fact, it's a fleet of dragon-shaped symbiote conglomerates seized under the control of Knull, travelling across the cosmos, devouring entire civilizations. It was pretty much the linchpin of Knull's cosmic campaign of carnage until it attacked Earth during the early medieval period and came into contact with everyone's favourite Mjolnir-wielding badass, Thor. And this time, Beowulf wasn't around, and so the God of Thunder had to sort things out by trapping the symbiote beast in a glacier. It later emerged when S.H.I.E.L.D screwed things up a bit, but we'll get to that in a second, and was reawakened by Knull to wreak havoc in downtown New York, alerting Eddie Brock and Miles Morales to its presence, hell-bent on retrieving a missing part of itself. Grendel is seemingly destroyed in a hotter-than-the-sun furnace in Venom #6, but we've got an inkling that it's not the last time we'll see this abyssal dragon. Next up at number 4, as we said, S.H.I.E.L.D screwed up. As we mentioned in our previous point, S.H.I.E.L.D's misfortune plays quite a large part in the historical events of Venom Volume 4. In the late 1960s, the frozen body of Grendel was discovered by S.H.I.E.L.D, who did the one thing you should never do when you find a strange alien life form. They subjected it to torturous experiments after realizing that the writhing symbiote mass was very much still alive. This kind of really pissed it off, and they only succeeded in creating ravenous offshoots of the Grendel mass that ended up going on a killing spree in Vietnam following the Sim Soldier program, which we'll get to in a moment too. Turns out that S.H.I.E.L.D had been powering up Project Rebirth for quite some time before their eventual collapse, and their involvement with symbiotes had led to some pretty interesting super soldier advancements in the Marvel Universe. Which leads us to our number 3 point, the Tyrannosaurus symbiote, which throughout the latest Venom run comes in the incarnation of Vietnam War veteran Rex Strickland, or at least an image of him, and is the one thing that Knull needed to fully morph into his amorphous dragon-shaped symbiote colossus and wreak havoc across the universe once more. It turns out that during S.H.I.E.L.D's excavation and subsequent experimentation of the Grendel symbiote, 5 of its symbiotes were extracted and bonded to wounded soldiers from the Vietnam War. Enraged at the hideous acts of its symbiote progenitor, Rex's symbiote, codenamed Tyrannosaurus, corrupted its host and went on a rampage across the jungles of Vietnam, prowling and devouring any soldier that they came across. It took Logan and Nick Fury to take them down, and during an act of compassion which ended up with Rex Strickland dying, the Tyrannosaurus symbiote broke free from Knull's chaotic influence and essentially became a good guy, pledging his life to save his symbiote brethren no matter the cost, in constant fear of the eldritch power of Knull. Next up at number 2, Venom spooked, and so are the Klyntar. And also, he's got wings now. After having a brief connection to Knull and his primordial symbiote Grendel, it unlocked new abilities for our favourite favourite Eddie Brock spandex suit, which came in handy when him and Spider-Man were hurtling through the atmosphere after being ejected from Grendel, the symbiote dragon. In essence, the overarching theme of Venom Volume 4, as well as drip feeding us some awesome symbiote goodness, is the battle between Knull and his conflict with seemingly compassionate Klyntar. As we see in issue 2, Knull can pretty much strip the goodness straight out of Venom's DNA, leaving Eddie Brock with a ravenous, rampaging symbiote under the hive mind sway of the living abyss, Knull. We learn throughout Venom that during Grendel's first mission to Earth, Thor's power severed Knull's connection to the hive mind, trapping his consciousness in the symbiote dragon's body. Afterwards, the symbiotes were freed from his control, and they subsequently rebelled against their god, imprisoning his body at the heart of an artificial planet they called Klyntar, which in their alien language was their word for cage. Holy come on, isn't that awesome? Also, Venom might be dead, but he can't be dead because he loves Eddie Brock, and as we know, Knull is a love-sucking fun sponge. And at our final point, number 1, we know pretty much nothing about him. Yeah, short and sweet really. There's still so much more to be explored with this blockbuster storyline that we can't even begin to imagine where this narrative nailstorm will take us. We've got gods trapped in planets, dragons made of symbiotes, several intricate threads that have slowly weaved their way to fruition since the early 2000s. It's really anyone's guess as to how this will change the Marvel Universe and the wider implications that it will have on the nature of symbiotes as we know them. Issue 7 is set to be released on October 10th, 2018, set to feature Venom veteran Iban Coelho, who promises to turn the Venom story on its head once again. It carries the tagline that Eddie Brock is going to be put through an emotional meat grinder, the likes of which haven't been seen in the Marvel Universe ever before. And if we're following the events of issue 6, then I think we're about to see Eddie Brock on a pretty gut-wrenching journey through the symbiotic abyss. Well, I guess we'll have to find out. Unfortunately folks, that's all we've got time for in today's list. Cheers for sticking around. If you've been a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up and ding that subscribe bell to stay up to date with our daily nerd content. As per usual, I've been your host Jack Finch, you've been watching Top 10 Nerd, and until next time, you take it easy.